Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back to All for United. This is the live post-match player ratings show. Welcome, it's me and Temi again. I'm back on the post-match videos. Temi loves it that I'm back. We're back, we're ready to rate some players, and unfortunately, we have one of the most boring games we've rated so far, so this is going to be fantastic. However, I need all of you in the comments to get involved and get us 20 likes. Easy enough. Everyone who's watching, make sure to like the video. We're about to go through every individual that played for United today and give them a rating out of 10. And of course, your rating is involved as well. So get your ratings in as we go through the team. Tell me, how are you feeling about rating this? Because this isn't going to be the most fun, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty straightforward. I don't think too many of the scores are going to deviate from each other, but hey, make sure to stay tuned, hit that like button real quick, and make sure if you're on any other platform that's not YouTube, join us right now on youtube.com/all4united.
Do what Temi says, because it usually brings you good luck if you do, I've heard. Yeah, so we're going to go through every player now, so make sure to drop your ratings in as well, because if the post-match video that we just did has anything to go by, there are a couple of players that we might disagree on, so let's get involved in that then. First one up, David De Gea.
You know what? I'm going to give him the highest grade, man of the match. I'm going to give him an 8. I think he made a couple really, really important saves against Saiz in the box when we were in the first half. Saiz was wreaking havoc in that box. I thought De Gea had to make some pretty important saves. And I think he's back to his best. I really love the fact that we're not. I mean, this sounds awful, but I'm really happy we're not playing Dean Henderson. He's not as good as David De Gea. He's just not. I don't think that he would be making those kind of saves under that type of pressure. And David De Gea has been there and done that. People forget he's won titles. He's so important to our squad. I think he's a leader in that dressing room, and he, showed it today when we needed him the most. He kind of showed up.
Yeah, fair enough. Was that an 8 you gave him?
Yeah, I gave him an 8.
Okay, Brown Knight agrees with you. 8 as well from him. Good start. I'm going to give him a 7 because, like you said, I thought he didn't do anything wrong. Made some important saves, especially in the first half because they really threatened us in that first half. I mean, I think he saved one from, was it Neves from long range? Yeah, and I thought he was going in, and it was a great save. So yeah, 7 from me. For the comments.
The Saiz one was the best one for me. The Saiz one where he kind of hits it with his leg, kind of slices it, and then De Gea has to be on his feet. I think that was an underrated goal. That the save he made on Saiz, but anyway, we move.
Yeah, fair play. And I forgot to mention, he even took a bit of a knock, didn't he? At one point, he was off on the ground. I think he got winded by someone. Can't remember who. But yeah, 7 and 8 from us for De Gea. Get involved. Let us know what you think. Next one, right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
I will give him I'll give him a 5. I think he was pretty pedestrian today. Honestly, did nothing impressive. Not necessarily. I think maybe 5 might be harsh, but I just don't think he did anything. I really don't think he did anything to inject any life into the game. I thought there was moments where he could have crossed the ball and he didn't. Specifically, there was one in the first half where he was absolutely at acres of space and he tried to check it back to Bruno and he got intercepted. He was pretty mediocre today, so 5.
Yeah, I have to agree. I'm going to say 5 because I thought he did. There's been a couple of games now where Wan-Bissaka does okay in some things and then okay in other things, and you're like, well, I need you to be very good at one of them. You can't just, the best way to describe him was he was a passenger almost. I felt because I thought we were carrying him through the game. It wasn't a great performance. 5 from me. See what the comments are saying. Brown Knight says 5. Oh Jesus Christ! I don't have coronavirus. Don't worry, everyone. Stuart says 6. A bit high, I think. Anything higher than a 5, I think, is a bit generous, but we move. Probably to what everyone in the post-match was calling our man of the match, Eric Bailly.
I'll give Eric I'll give him a 6. I think he was very good, but I don't think he necessarily. I mean, our center backs faced no pressure today. Honestly, they really did not face that much pressure today. There was a few moments when Diamond Traore early in the first half where, if anything, we just fouled him and got him on his ass, and then he was fine. But I mean, I think Eric was okay. He was good today. He was good today. So I'm gonna give him a 6. Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing more, nothing less.
I'm going to go 7 because I thought he was the best of our defenders. It feels good to watch Eric Bailly play consistently and play well, because it reminds me of, when he first came in and we saw him play, and I was like, this is the guy. This is a fantastic player we've signed here. And unfortunately, over the years, we haven't seen it. Now, as funny as he is, as the psychopath he is, he doesn't get enough games. And as I said jokingly in the post-match, 3 games in 6 days. Normally, Eric Bailly doesn't survive that, but he has, and he's playing very well in those games. So I'm happy for it. A 7 from me. Jarvis is here, and he's feeling very, very excited. I can see 21. Here we come. I'm loving it, Jarvis. Like the video if you think we're going to win 21, and like the video if you don't as well. Just do it. 7 from Brown Knight. Fred Wood says 8, comfortable on the ball and complimented Maguire's weaknesses with his pace. Has he just copied what Mark said? I think he has.
I just feel like he was comfortable on the ball because there was no pressure applied to it. Like, that's the only reason I'm giving him a 6. I don't think anything that was done today was over. Like, he's a good defender. He's not a shit defender. He didn't have anything really to go up against, in my opinion. Like, if we didn't score that goal, I mean, it'd have been a 0-0 boring draw, and there was not really too many opportunities from Wolves that ever scared us outside of maybe 2. So 6 for me.
Sorry, Fred. I didn't mean to accuse you there. I was just making an assumption. Sorry. Harry Maguire.
6 as well. I thought he was fine. I didn't think anything he did was spectacular today. Obviously, like people are mentioning, they both looked relatively comfortable on the ball. I thought they both played passes from the back into midfielders and forwards' feet today a couple of times. So again, I just people might think that I'm being harsh with these scores, but you got to remember the type of game this was. Like, Wolves did not set out to be on the front foot at all. Maybe the first 20 minutes it was a little bit nip and tuck. Comfortable. Another issue I have with our center backs, I think they were slow today in terms of the ball progression. I think a lot of the times our center backs, when there's no pressure applied to them, they kind of dilly-dally on the ball. And this is not just Harry Maguire. I think even Bailly, Lindelof can be guilty of it sometimes. I don't like it. That's one of the main people to understand. You might always think, oh, we're slow because our forwards aren't doing anything. No, everything starts from the back. So if our center backs are slow, it's going to make our midfielders slow, then it's going to make our front line slow. So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, though, they started a good game. So 6 from Maguire.
Fair play. Let us know if you agree. I'm going to say 5 because I thought he was very average. Bailly played a lot better than him, and as Mark said in the post match, he was very slow, and it showed because he was playing against much pacier forwards. And on another day, we probably get caught for that. But that's just my opinion. Stuart says 5. Gave away at least 4 fouls. Always makes me nervous, says Stuart. Makes him nervous.
Dang, maybe I'm being too generous.
Maybe. Jarvis says Maguire won the ball and set it to Bruno. Okay. So he did his job.
Yeah, I just feel like he literally just that forward pass to Bruno. It wasn't like anything. He beat 2 men, then gave it to Bruno. Like, Bruno literally just said, "Here, pass me the ball," and hoofed it long. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
You can't really say much about that. I'll start in left back then. Alex Telles.
5. I feel bad for him. I don't know. This is a big thing, and I there was a kind of a slight conversation about it on social media. I just feel like ever really anything that scared you from what. There's nothing that ever really scared you, honestly. I'm surprised he's not pushing on more. I don't know if it's and actually get in really good positions on the, near the final third. I think a lot of his crosses were deep, longer crosses that really never threatened the likes of Saiss and Connor Cody and Kilman. And we'll see what Alex Telles does going forward. But Luke Shaw is definitely the better left back at this point in time. But I still like the the concept of competition. And I think he'll find his feet eventually. So, but 5 for today.
Yeah, I'm going to say 5 as well. I mean, I wish I could come on one of these shows and give Tellers a 7 or an 8 because I've not been able to do that. I don't think I've given him anything higher than a 5 or a 6 because he's not. He was signed to be an attacking left back, but I feel like he's not really being very attacking, if that makes sense. I feel like maybe he's been told, improve the defensive side of your game, and maybe that's affecting him. I don't know. I'm trying to make excuses for him, but the fact of the matter is he's been quite average since coming in. And I feel like there will be a bigger conversation about that going forward, but we'll see. He's got time to improve his form, but we'll see. Tell us 5 from Brown Knight. Expected him to cross better. Yeah, I thought his deliveries were poor today. Another 5 tried with his crosses, but they're all poor. So that seems to be the general.
I think they were more. I think they were more predictable than. I mean, some of them obviously were. Had more to be desired, but it's just predictable. He literally he would drop deep, and everyone and their mother knows what he's about to do, and they can get in position and just head it away. Like it's not that difficult if you're locked in defending to, block a cross coming in, honestly. So it was just very pedestrian and predictable the whole game.
Yeah, there is a comment here about the left back and Matic. I will get into that because I'll come back to it. We're going to talk about Nemanja Matic now. Tell me, what was your rating for Matic?
This one's tough because he really, to say he played poorly would be definitely disingenuous. I'm going to just go 6. The biggest problem with Matic is he's the one who dictates the tempo more often than not of the game. He'll drop deep and collect the ball from the center backs. He'll fill in at left back. He'll fill in at center back. But I feel like this game wasn't a game where you need to fill in for people or be that third center back sometimes. It just makes it very, very slow. I think Pogba and Fred would have been a much more interesting combination because I think Fred would have, put more pressure on. But again, we'd be more susceptible defensively, so we might have maybe not gotten a clean sheet. Who knows? But anyway, yeah, I just think Matic was fine today. Didn't make too many mistakes, but again, I think he's culpable for the tempo being so slow, because he dictates it so much. So I'll just give him a 6. Not bad, but obviously not great.
Yeah, a lot of the people on the post match were saying Matic is one of our better players, but I think that's from very simple things like retaining possession and covering for Maguire. I actually think he wasn't very good today. I thought his positioning let him down. I'm going to give him a 5 because of this reason that Fred's brought up. Now, watching the first half, Matic spent most of it in such a deep position. Now, that wasn't off the ball. If it was out of possession and he slots in to make a back 5 and get compact, that's fine by me. I don't mind that. But he was doing it when we were in possession, which meant that Pogba was so isolated. Now, as Fred says, it could have been to drop him into a central defensive role on the left side and allow Tellez to go and push forward. But number 1, Tellez didn't really do that. And number 2, Matic was the one who started with the ball, and he didn't play it to Tellez. He was playing it to Pogba, who then had to do it all himself. So, in my opinion, I don't think Matic had a very good game. He did what he usually does in terms of playing the ball, sideways, shifting it. But what he did off the ball, I think, let us down a lot in terms of when we were trying to break the team down. He'd just stand next to the person on the ball, and that's not helping us. Even if you stand 6 yards away, at least that gives you something to shift the defense with. If you stood right next to the guy on the ball, you're not helping break a team down, and that's what really annoys me. But yeah, a 5 from me, but people could disagree with me in the comments. Let's have a look. I mean, the big surprise. Brown Knight says 7. Game of 2 halves, had a 5 in the first half, 8 in the second half. Ooh, 8 in the second? I'm not sure about that. I don't know. Matic 6, as Temi says, filled in for defence well, but that's about it. Yeah, fair enough. Pogba then, who someone said was atrocious.
Yeah, nonsense. He was not atrocious. He was definitely, I think he was more influential than Matic at the end of the day. I think people forget that, it's so hard when you're playing against a deep block and you're being asked to kind of be that person who plays the longer passes. A lot of times you play longer passes just to stretch the defense. Obviously, you want to hit your man, but stretching the defense gives you the ability to win. Like what happened to Bruno today for the final goal. He hoofed the ball, and playing that long pass, and it hitting stretched the defense and gave us the ability to kind of score that lucky goal we scored. So I think I'm going to give him a 7. I think he played really well. I think he was definitely more influential than I think people were realizing throughout the course of the game. Didn't give the ball away as much as people are saying as well. I think he had a really good game today, and very considering the circumstances that we were under. I think he played really, really well. So 7 for Pogba today.
Yeah, I think that whole gave the ball away thing is such an easy thing to say. And I think everyone uses that far too often. I thought Pogba was one of our better players. I'm giving him a 7 because I thought he had a lot to do on his own, and I thought because Matic left him so isolated, it felt like he was doing him. It was being detrimental to him because he then had to do a lot more on his own. And I thought he did well considering that. And to be honest, Pogba's had a little bit of respect back from me because it seems as though he and Ollie have reached a sort of agreement, a gentleman's agreement almost, that, give me the rest of the season, at full effort, and I'll let you go in the summer. That seems like what's been agreed. And since then, Paul Pogba has played very well. And I give him respect for that because, it's so easy for him to just kick up his feet and go, you know what, now I'll wait till you sell me. But he's putting an effort in. I think we should acknowledge that.
100%.
Brown Knight says 7. Had a great shot on goal. I remember that. That was a fantastic effort as well. I thought it was going in. Stewart's here. I think he was the one who called him atrocious. Get what you're saying about the long balls to stretch the defense, but they were so far off their target. Yes, but he was the only one trying those things.
Yeah, it's so easy to say, oh, it's off target when there's 5 men at the back and a whole bunch of space. Somebody makes a run, he plays the ball, that person has to check their run because there's 2 people in front of them blocking him. So I mean, there's more context to it than, oh, he played a long pass and it didn't hit its target. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And again, back to your point, Karthik, I think that Ollie and Pogba have always had a really good relationship. I think this whole time Ollie's been here, I think he's never said one negative word about Paul, ever. And I think Paul respects him for that. Paul also had a relationship with him prior to, Ollie becoming the permanent manager. So I think that's something that people forget. He's also a professional, puts his hard hat on, goes to work every day, just like everyone else. And I think people underrate that aspect of the game of football more than anything. This is, at the end of the day, it's entertainment, but it's also a job for them. So they come here, they do their work, they try to do it as best as they can. Sometimes they do great, just like you do in your regular life. Sometimes they don't. They don't do as great. Sometimes like you do in your regular life. So you got to just appreciate the punches as they come.
Yeah, fair play. Stuart says, respect our opinions. That's what we're about on this channel, opinions. And he has played well recently. Brown Knights in the comments, as always, pushing people to like. We're 10 away from the target, so make sure to hit the like button. And if you're watching, make sure to share it. Take a quick second to share the link and then jump back in because we're going to continue with our player ratings. We're almost towards the end of the team. Mason Greenwood, who I thought was quite average, but we'll hear what you say.
Yeah, 5. I tweeted early in the first half today. I thought this was a game for Juan Mata. You know what I'm saying? Juan Mata in the FA Cup, was it last year, was the one who scored the all-important goal to get us through to the next round against Wolves after a stinker 0-0 FA Cup replay. It was another stinker, and Juan Mata kind of unlocked the door with a little dink over the top. I think Juan Mata thrives in games like this where we dominate possession and we have the ball. I mean, Mason Greenwood is still young, and it's going to take him time to understand positioning and, where to be when there's a lot of when it's compact and it's clogged in there. So, yeah, maybe not the game for him today. I think the intent was to make Mason, be on the front foot, but we quickly realized that this wasn't, going to be that kind of game, and it kind of made Mason essentially ineffective. So, 5.
Yeah, I was actually at that game, the one that Matt scored, and that was a terrible game. I go to so many terrible games; it's so sad. But then again, I'd love to go to a terrible game at this point because we can't go to anything now. Yeah, Mason 5 for me. Ineffective. I think I do agree with you. This is a game for Mata. Mason has the ability to, make things happen. I mean, he has the ability to hold on to the ball, bring others into play, but no one is better at that than Juan Mata. Not a chance. If you want to break a team down, Juan Mata's your guy. and he should have started today. So Mason 5, but it's unfortunate that Matt didn't play today. Let's see what the comments are saying. Stuart says 5 and not his fault. Agrees with Temi. Wasn't the game for him. 6 from Brown Knight, wasted on the right wing. Great step over and cross for Bruno. Fian, if that's how you pronounce it. Yeah, Mason wasn't so effective. He's given him a 5. Matt is a good shout. Needed someone with this creativity. Definitely. We'll go on to the left then before we go to the middle. Marcus Rashford.
It might be harsh because he got the goal today, but 5. Like, he was not that good today. Like, I mean, he really was not that good today. That goal, very, very fortunate. I love Marcus. But if we're talking about a full 90, he was pedestrian. Very, very pedestrian today. I don't think he was any that much better than Mason. Made some interesting runs. But overall, nothing to shout at. Happy he got the goal, but a 5 for Marcus Radford. Really didn't do anything today that outside of the obvious all-important goal.
Yeah, the only reason I'm giving him a 5 is because he won it. Otherwise, he'd probably get a 4. I thought he was very, very. He looked out of the. He just looked out of it. He didn't look at the races today. And I said it at the start of the game. To be fair, that I wasn't convinced with us playing Wan-Bissaka and Rashford despite having their injuries, and I think they were still injured today. I think we forced them to play through it, which, I mean, players have done before, but Rashford's recurring shoulder is getting a bit worrying, and obviously Wan-Bissaka is a key player that you don't want to worsen an injury. So it's no surprise that these are the 2 players that we've rated quite low, and I think there has to be something to said about that. But I don't think Rashford is very effective. Yes, he scored, fantastic, and we'll be grateful to him. But it wasn't his best game, and we're okay to say that. But we'll see what people say here. Fian says Marcus was sloppy. True. Brown Knight says Marcus 6. He was a 5, but he got the goal, so +1. I suppose. Fred says Rashford has been bang average the past few months, which is odd as he's scored a few goals. Maybe. I mean, I semi-agree with you. He's not been as good as he could be, which I think is because he's currently playing through an injury. But that's a completely different discussion to have. But yeah, I do agree with you. in that sense. Stuart gives him a 6. So it seems to be 5 or 6 is the general consensus. Over to Bruno then. How do you think he did?
I'll go 6. I thought he was, and I think I might be generous at that point. Definitely, obviously, he played the ball over the top that led to the goal. But again, very similar to Marcus, I don't think today was necessarily his day. Pretty pedestrian again. Couldn't break down the defense. I thought most of the impetus came from a little deeper with Pogba and Matic. Even obviously Matic was much deeper, but I think the more of the impetus and the willingness to try stuff came from deeper today. If I'm being completely honest with you, and his moment, the moment that he had, late in the game came from deeper today. But because of that moment, Bruno always. The best part about Bruno is even when he's having a not great game, he somehow finds a way to influence it. And that is something that is priceless. I mean, he is a gem. So, I mean, giving him a 6 today might sound like I'm being a hater, but I feel like it's the right score. So 6.
Yep, I agree. 6. He's had a few games now where he hasn't been particularly great, and he's still coming contributions. So it's not surprising that he wasn't amazing today. But again, his moment came late in the game, and we've ended up winning it anyway. So, he's a player that I think is one of the best signings that we've made post-Fergie, probably the best signing post-Fergie. And he's probably going to end up there with some of the best we've ever signed because of the impact he's had on our team. And 2020 was the year of Bruno Fernandes. It just is. You can't argue with that. And I think he is quickly becoming the best midfielder in the league and in the world. The numbers he's putting up is ridiculous. So, yeah, a poor game by his standards, as Stuart says in the comments there. But game-winning assist, 6 for me. Everyone else, it looks like, is giving him a 6, apart from Brown Knight, who gives him a 7. And I feel like Brown Knight always just adds 1 to whatever we give a player, just to spite us. Yeah, so Cavani next.
5. I don't think he did anything great today. I think it was a quiet game for him. I think he was stifled a lot by the 3 center backs. Roman Saiz was having like a masterclass today. I don't even understand he was on smoke today. They they switched up their the position of their center backs today. Normally Connor Cody takes the middle. But today they put him out right and put Roman Saiz in the middle, and it seems like they did that specifically for Cavani. Honestly, it felt like he couldn't get into the game, didn't get a foothold in the game like he normally does. I think he potentially could have made a better impact off the bench. But hey, who knows? That's all revisionist history. But 5 for him today.
Yep, I agree. 5 for me as well. He had a couple of good moments, and yeah, obviously he had the ball in the net, but he was offside. But yeah, not great. Not just 5 for me. And the less said, the better, because I think he'll have better games, and he's had better games, but not this one. Oh, okay, right. Brown Knight's getting a little bit passive aggressive here. Oh, I was only joking. You know, I was only joking. Calm down. Yep. Commentary Stuart's agreeing with us again. 5 ineffective. Could have been subbed. Yeah, probably. I'm not going to rate McTominay because there's no point. He was just a time-wasting sub. So we'll go Luke Shaw first.
I'll give him a strong 7. I think he was pretty progressive today. I thought he had a good game. Obviously, you could look back in hindsight and say should he have started, but I honestly don't think it would have made much of a difference. 7 today just for his impetus. But a good job today from Luke Shaw off the bench. Unfortunately, didn't have any stats necessarily to show for it, but he was progressive today. Happy with the result. Happy with what he showed. He's been showing right now he's the best left back on our club. No questions asked. He's showed that for the past 3 months. He said, "Hey, Tellez, I like that you came over. You're the shiny new toy, but I'm better than you." So he's been proving that. No questions asked.
Luke Shaw is the Woody to Tellez's Buzz Lightyear. That's what he's basically just said. That's a weird connection I just made. Anyway, I'm going to give Luke Shaw 7, and I'm going to give you all the wonderful headline that you want, and I will say Luke Shaw deserves to start for Manchester United. I'm sorry, he just does. I can't say anything else because, honestly, since Tellez has come in, he's been our best left back. And I can't believe I'm saying these words out of my mouth right now.
Yeah.
But he has been. He deserves to start. And you know what made me realise how good he's been is the first thing he did in the second half of the game, he made a forward run and tried to take people on. And I'm like, that's what Tellez should be doing, but Luke Shaw's doing it. So, yeah, Luke Shaw 7, probably one of our better players today, and probably more consistent over the course of the season. 7 deserves to start. And here's the comment that I expected. Founder and president, Luke Shaw fan club, of course. 7 from Kelly. I believe that's how you pronounce that name. If I haven't pronounced that right, I'm sorry. Stuart says 7 as well. Shaw makes the runs in behind. Tellez needs to add that to his game. He has it in his game. He just hasn't been doing it for some strange reason, which is what I don't get. On to the other sub, Martial.
I'll give him a 6. I don't think he did anything necessarily that great. Again, I think all of our forwards left a lot to be desired. I think he did give a small injection and burst of pace, but a burst of pace doesn't really always win you games. You have to have some quality behind it. I don't think he had necessarily the best quality today, but I think he probably will get his place back in the side in our next game, because I do think there's a lot of stuff he brings that are pretty crucial. So, like I said, 6 today. Obviously, it wasn't a game changer, but I think he played decent.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Martial, he had one good moment, which is the little dribble. But other than that, not enough to really impact the game. But I do agree with you completely that he does deserve to start because he brings a lot more to the build-up now. While he doesn't have the movement of Cavani yet, he still brings something, and we've seen how good we are with Martial on the team. So I think he deserves to start. I'll give him a 5. I can't give him a 6, unfortunately. Just a 5. Jarvis, I feel you guys forget there's an opposition and counterplay going on. Wolves defended immense and they were lethal on the counter. We played disciplined and grinded. I understand what you're trying to say. Yeah, we are accounting for that, aren't we? I mean, we have given some players a higher rating.
So he had a comment. I don't know if I can put it up, but he had a comment. Let me see if I can find it. Says, "Come on, Bruno's the new king. No way, it's a 6. Feel you guys are being a bit negative. I think that we're being objective. There's a difference. If just because you win a game and somebody gets an assist does not mean that that person had a world class game. Like, and I understand your point. Wolves played a part in Bruno getting a 6. That's what we're saying. Wolves did what they wanted to do. They came and stifled us. They stifled us for 90 something minutes, and there was a moment of brilliance from Bruno and Rashford. Well, I should just maybe say Bruno Rashford wasn't really that brilliant, but yeah, I a 6 is a good score. I mean, a 6 out of 10 is above average. That's not, it's not a bad score. Maybe if we give him a 4, maybe I would say that's negative, but I think a 6 out of 10 is an above average score, and he was above average today. So I mean, or average. I don't know what else you want to call it, but no, I don't think we're being negative. I think we're just being extremely objective. If we didn't draw that, if we didn't get that last minute result, it'd be a 0-0. Then what are you saying? I mean, you got to account for 90 minutes, not just moments. That's how you evaluate player ratings here, or that's how we do it here, at least.
Exactly, and that's the whole point of this show. That's not to say you don't know what you're talking about. It's just we want to give you maybe an insight that you didn't quite see. That's what we're trying to do with the show. And if you do like the show, make sure to give us a like, and then Ben will let us keep doing it. That's the key. We're going on to our manager rating. How do you rate Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's performance today?
I'll give him a. I'll give him a 6. And again, that's not a bad score. So everyone just follow me and listen to what I'm about to say. I think there was obviously this is hindsight. Again, hindsight is very important. I think there was maybe some certain positions where we could have rotated. Like for instance, I think Greenwood probably shouldn't have played today in hindsight. Again, it's not a knock on Ali or anything, but we're just evaluating the totality of the game. I think Mata would have been a better fit. I think Martial probably should have played in hindsight. Probably Luke Shaw should have played in hindsight. But again, we managed the game well, and he set us up. He set us up to a point where we were the dominant. I'm saying dominant, but we were the ones who put the onus on Wolves. He has to learn how to break these teams down, though. This is the reason I'm giving him a 6. Ali has to learn how to break down teams that want to set up and, stifle us. Yes, we can say, "Oh, we won the game, so yeah, we did break them down," but no, we didn't. We didn't break them down. We never looked like we were going to. We never looked like we were going to score 2 or 3. It looked like we weren't going to score if that game played another 90. It didn't look like we were going to score. So that's the only reason I'm giving him a 6 today. But that being said, yeah, no, that to me, another day at the office for Ali, 6.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a 5. I don't think he got anything. I don't think he got it tactically wrong, but there were things that I didn't agree with. For example, starting Matic, I don't think we had to, and I don't think he needed as cautious instructions as he gave him. I think he gave him a very cautious role in terms of sitting deep and just staying there for some reason. And I don't think he made the right change. I don't think McTominay was the one who should have come on. I think Van de Beek should have come on before that, because what we needed was movement. Now, as I said, I didn't like the fact that we had players standing still. Van de Beek will stand still in about 5 yards of space, and that's when he's done his job right. And I felt like we could have used that. But again, you could argue against a low block, how much space would Van de Beek get? There's another one. Possibly, as we've spoken about, Mata might have been the one player that you could say Ollie should have started ahead of Greenwood. But other than that, tactically, I don't think he got it wrong. It was just a case of Wolves stifled us and we struggled to break them down. And as Temi says, we need to find a way to do that. And I'm sure we will at some point. Well, I hope we will. But we're winning games, and I suppose you can only praise him for that. But yeah, let's see what the comments are saying. Jarvis is here. Respects your opinion. Games like this always tight. I believe that is not thigh. But what you do in your spare time. Keep up the great work. Yes, Temi will keep up the great work, and I'll keep up the average work. I think fitness considerations should be used to evaluate Ollie. Interesting. Interesting. I like that because it comes into what I said about the injuries. I don't think Rashford and Wan-Bissaka should have played, but that's just me. I think Ollie set the team up right, but didn't pick the best players, so we didn't. What? Unless you mean shape, then that makes sense, I suppose. But yeah, like we said, Mata should have played. But yeah, we got the win. Temi, any final thoughts from me before I close up the show?
No, yeah, just really excited that we got the 3 points. I'm going to keep saying it. Again, player rating show, we give that objective talk. Everyone who is watching with us right now, make sure to let your friends know about this. We want to get to a point where, we got like 30, 40 people watching this player rating show with us, and we're sharing all of your comments, sharing all of your thoughts. We want this to be an interactive platform. So everyone, make sure if you haven't let your friends know about us, youtube.com/all4united. We're on the road to 2K, everybody. So let your friends know about us. We're trying to get to that 2K point ASAP, and with your help, I think we can do it. So make sure to keep tuning in, guys. We appreciate you.
Love it, love it, love it. Everyone like the video before we close up. Final thoughts from me. If you didn't watch the post-match, United did not deserve to win today, but they did. And I will end this show on the very simple statement that some people like to say that winning games scrappy, winning games that you don't necessarily deserve to win is the stuff of champions. I don't say it. People say it. And other people wrong. This is a democracy after this is going way out of hand. United are still in the title chase. We're going into 2020 second and with a game in hand. We are 2 points away from Liverpool as it stands. They are yet to play. So if Newcastle do us a favour, we could be 3 or 2 points from the top. And that means a very juicy 2021. Have a very good new year, everyone. We will see you on the other side. Keep it locked to All for United as we are going on a title chase. See you in a bit.